Welcome into East Field in Glens Falls, New York. The Stallions and the Dragons are ready for action. Nick Iverson leads things off. Just swung through a third strike for the first out of today's game. The Stallions 18-8 of the season against the 7-23 Dragons of Glens Falls. As Noah Berghammer steps to the plate, John Gross alongside Dylan McGlynn. Dylan, it's great to have some baseball again. Another doubleheader canceled yesterday for the Stallions.
Yeah, it certainly is. This is just the fourth game in the last 12 days now for the Stallions. Just the rain has been wreaking havoc in the area, and obviously for these guys a lot of these guys came from all over the country. They came a long way to play baseball.
Yeah.
So when you go a period of almost 2 full weeks where you're hardly playing any games, it can really wear on guys.
Noah Berghammer watches a strike. Berghammer, a .351 hitter, enters today on a 4-game hitting streak. Looking to keep things rolling against the left-handed Chris Grome. A 1-3 record in the season, was the starting pitcher in Glens Falls' lone win over the Stallions this year, a 13-12 victory. Off-speed pitch is fanned on for strike 2.
Yeah, he's a guy they're going to want to get length out of. I mean, we've seen it this year. The bullpen has struggled. So, they might be a little bit hesitant to go to that bullpen early, especially, some guys have been injured as well, some guys going home. We've seen that happen to every team this year, so really important for Grome to be able to give the Dragons length tonight.
And Berghammer is retired on strike, so back-to-back strikeouts for the left-handed Chris Grome.
Yeah, it looked like the off-speed pitch there, down and away, same pitch that he threw to Nick Iverson. That's a big pitch for him. I mean, he's got 32 strikeouts in 23 2/3 innings, so he's a guy who can really rack up strikeouts.
So 2 outs now in the top of the first. Albert Jennings slotted in the 3-hole today. He watches a strike. The lefty has a 6-game hitting streak all the way up to 245. Dylan, this is a guy who was really struggling early in the year, but he has turned things around as he awaits the 0-1 offering from Grome, and it's a breaking ball on the outer edge.
Yeah, you just said it. I mean, Jennings has really, really come around. You mentioned he got off to a really tough start, but he's just put in the work. He's just hasn't gotten too down on himself, and he's been hitting the ball so much better.
0-2, taken at the knees, and Chris Grome strikes out the side in the top of the first. So we head to the bottom of the first. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. Scoreless between the Stallions and the Dragons and the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom of the first from East Field in Glens Falls. We are scoreless between the Stallions and the Dragons. We will give you both lineups momentarily. A very quick top of the first. Didn't give us much of a chance to talk about anything. But the starting pitcher tonight for the Stallions is Zach Byron, the lefty out of Wofford, making His 5th start of the season, a 3.56 ERA, 2-0 record. Has 10 strikeouts and 3 walks, making his first appearance against Glens Falls.
Yeah, his 5th start on the year. He's been consistent, not an overwhelming guy, not a big strikeout guy, but he's a guy who just throws strikes and he knows how to pitch. He's kind of a Marcus Stroman type guy. A lot of ground balls, not a ton of strikeouts, but a very effective pitcher.
He starts off the at-bat to Nick Marola with a strike on the outside corner. The lefty winds and deals, and Marola swings through the 0-1. Now, no balls, 2 strikes on the leading hitter in terms of batting average for this Glens Falls side. Marola hitting .357 of the year. Has recorded a base knock in 6 of his last 7 appearances. Byron ahead 0-2. Pop fly, first base side out of play.
Yeah, Marola's gotten off to a great start for the Dragons. Really wasn't playing a ton at the beginning of the year, but now is working his way into the lineup, really starting to see himself in the lineup almost every night now. And like you mentioned, .357 average, .571 slugging percentage as well.
Byron kicks and deals, the 0-2. Bounced right back to the mound. Byron sprints towards first, underhand toss, and the lefty records the out. 1 down. Let's take a look at the Stallions lineup. Saugerties led off with Nick Iverson. He gets the start at second base. Noah Berghammer hits second at short. Albert Jennings third and left. Kip Fugers clean up at first base. Andrew Wilhite fifth at DH. The EH tonight, the 6th hitter, Tyler Kelder. Jack Renwick 7 at third. Colin Mackel 8th in center. Caden Kendall 9th in right. And Max Morris making a Stallions debut, hitting last and catching. One away for James Murphy. Bounces back the first pitch he sees. Murphy, the 2-hitter. He's at shortstop. Marola, who led off for the Dragons, gets the start at the hot corner. Kobe Brouillette bats third at DH. Joe Kersey clean up at first base. John Collins in the 5 spot. He's catching. Cole Durkin 6th and left. Michael Gorman 8th in center. 7th in center. As Byron delivers the 0-1. Again fouled back. Going 2. J.C. Caffarella 8th and right. The 9-hitter tonight, Joe Rendy, he plays second. And Evan Keegan, last but not least in the batting order, the EH.
Not the first time we've seen Keegan down in that 10 spot either this year, and he's been arguably their best hitter all season, so interesting to see him down there.
0-2 delivery from Byron. Sliding action in at the hands, lofted to short, and it's caught by Berghammer. 2 outs, scoreless, bottom of the first.
Yeah, you really get a great view of the movement on a lot of pitches here from this press box here at East Field, and on that one you could see perfectly how that ball just slid right in on the hands. And for Murphy, when he starts that swing, that's a strike. It's out over the plate, and by the time he makes contact, it's then on his hands, and all he can do is just flare it.
2 outs on pitches and balls that have not left the infield. Brings up Kobe Brouillette, watches a strike at the knees. So we saw 1-2-3 inning with 3 strikeouts in the top of the first. And Zach Byron will look to follow that up against the .230 hitter Brouillette. Lefty-lefty duel. Byron's 0-1 home is just away, 1-1.
Yeah, Brouillette's a guy who, he's flash power, he's got a home run, .344 slugging percentage, just hasn't really consistently put that together this summer.
1 ball, 1 strike. Again, slider whiffed at. 1-2, and Byron gets really good movement. And like you said, Dylan, from this vantage point, we are stationed directly behind home plate and high enough up that we have a perfect view of that movement.
Yeah, it makes it really easy to identify pitches, and obviously it just makes it so impressive to watch sliders like that one.
1-2 with 2 outs, fastball high and away, 2-2. And I want to give a shout out quickly to Michael Gross, our fellow broadcaster. He was pitching to me with some of his wiffle ball pitches. They had about as much movement as that, so it's tough when you're facing pitches that can move like that. A lot of life from the left hand of Byron. The 2-2 with 2 outs. Same pitch on that slider. Same result, a swinging strike 3. And our first Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout of the evening wraps up the first. 12 minutes through the first inning as we head to the top of the second. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We are scoreless from Glens Falls on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Top of the second, Stallions Baseball is brought to you by 5-Star Awards and Tees, top custom team gear awards, Benson Steel, the Stallions Stolen Base sponsor. They put stuff up you can't knock down. Bob Garrick Septic, honest, dependable, reliable. If you need it pumped out, call Bob. BP's Carpentry and Maintenance, and Delvecchia and Craft Injury Lawyers. If you've been hit, call Delvecchia and Craft Injury Lawyers. Kip Fugers, who is playing at quite possibly his favorite ballpark in the PGCBL, leads off this top of the second, takes a ball below the knees. 1-0 in there for strike one. And I say that because he's at 2 home runs here out of his 3 in the season. Always seems to have a great game at Glens Falls.
Yeah, he really does. You saw the grand slam to dead center in the 19-2 win.
1-1 foul back.
And then just last week, a first inning 2-run shot to straightaway left. So flash power to a couple different spots here in this park. And with Kip Fugers, man, you can really make an argument for him being the best overall hitter in the PGCBL so far this year. He's 5th in batting average. He's tied for 4th in home runs. He's tied for 1st in RBIs. And he's 2nd in OPS.
1-2 from Grome. Sky down the right field line. 3 players give chase to it. This could be trouble. And Caffarella reaches up in right field to make the catch. And all 3 players lost their hats.
Yeah, that ball just kind of stayed up there, really hung up. I thought off the bat it was going to kind of hook more foul than it did. It stayed in fair territory. And, yeah, never really easy when 3 guys are converging, you know, especially if you don't really have a good sight line on that ball. You might just be hoping somebody else calls for it, but Caffarella able to get there.
1 out, lefty now. It's Andrew Wilhite out of Minnesota. Fastball over the heart of the plate. Wilhite, a .302 hitter, was 1 for 2 with 4 RBI back on July 6th, last time here for the Stallions. Scoreless top of the second. 1 away, the 0-1 delivery from Grome. Breaks down and outside, 1-1.
Yeah, Wilhite has really grabbed a lot of attention since he showed up in Saugerties. Really patient hitter. He's got a lot of pop.
Swings through the 1-1, now behind 1 and 2. It's always nice to have a lefty bat with some power like that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just to give the pitcher a different look. Obviously, this probably works more in Grome's favor right now, but most pitchers are going to be right-handed.
1-2, and a different arm slot from Grome as the lefty came more from the side. It's fouled away.
Yeah, saw that during warm-ups. He was warming up on the field, just kind of tossing with catcher John Collins, and you could see him in his deliveries. He was changing some stuff up, kind of messing with that arm action.
Grome from the third base side, now more over-the-top delivery, and he finds the zone at the knees. Strike 3 looking. So Chris Grome has K'd up 4 of the 5 batters that he's faced. 2 outs in the second, still scoreless.
Yeah, his stuff just looks really good. He's throwing strikes. He's getting ahead of hitters, and obviously when you get ahead of guys, you can throw your best stuff and try to get some swings and misses, and he's been doing that so far.
Tyler Kelder digs in, 2 outs, and he watches a pitch upstairs. Kelder hitting .246 in the year. Was 1 for 3 with a double last time out against Amsterdam. That was a loss, a 6-0 loss on Saturday. 1-0 in the inside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, Kelder's a guy where you just feel like he's on the verge of breaking out, and it's kind of seemed that way all summer, really. He's had some stretches where he's really, hit the crap out of the ball, but it hasn't really been the Tyler Kelder that we're used to seeing. Well,
1-1 as he went fishing for a pitch low, now behind 1 and 2.
And obviously, by no means does that mean he's been bad, because he's been one of the higher impact bats for this team. But it's kind of a scary thought for maybe the rest of the league that this guy, Stallions, is one of the best offenses in baseball, and he hasn't really got going.
A slap shot into center. There's a base knock for Kelder, so on cue he delivers. First base runner of the game for either side. It's a 2-out single by Tyler Kelder.
Yeah, see, and that's the kind of stuff right there that makes Tyler Kelder such a good hitter. 2-strike pitch, breaking ball kind of outside corner. He's out in front of it, but he keeps his hands back and he just pushes it into center for a base hit.
Kelder, a guy who would not be shocked to hear his name called in the MLB draft, whether it's this year or down the road. Really good hitter, transferring to FAU in the fall. As Jack Renwick takes a pitch inside, 1-0. 2 outs, scoreless top of the second.
Speaking of guys who like hitting at East Field, I would say Jack Renwick is probably one of them as well.
I'd agree.
Had a pair of triples in the same game here earlier this year.
Down and in, and it gets away from Collins. Kelder off to second, and that ball rolls into center field. Tyler Kelder is going to get from first to third, and just like that, with 2 outs at the top of the second, Saugerties has the potential first run of the game, 90 feet away from home.
Yeah, it's just a tough situation there. Ball in the dirt. Nice job by Collins to keep it in front. Nothing much he really could have done there, but then on the throw, obviously one hopped it, and that allows Kelder to get the third. So now base hit would allow a run to score pretty easily here.
And 2 straight balls issued to Renwick. The 2-1 is chopped down the third base side of one hop fielded by Marola. He'll fling it on to first in time, and that wraps up the top of the second. No runs coming across for Saugerties on 1 hit, 1 left in scoring position. Bottom of the second after this, scoreless from Glens Falls on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom 2, game that's been moving along in a hurry. Just 20 minutes into this, we're already in the bottom of the second. As Zach Byron enters his second inning of work in the mound, first pitch from the lefty is swung through by Joe Kersey, the 293 hitter, the cleanup hitter. 4-5-6 due up. It's Kersey, Collins, and Durkin slated to hit for the Dragons. Scoreless top 2. 0-1 from Byron. In the air to right. A couple steps back for Caney Kendall. Under it, 1 away.
Yeah, you said it when we came back, but this is really, I mean, we're only in the bottom of the second, but really, really fast start. I mean, it is 7:21, so we are 21 minutes into this game right now.
Brings up John Collins.
I mean, we've seen innings between these two teams go, past a half hour by themselves.
First offering, down and in, and yeah, I mean, let's look back at the 13-12 win for Glens Falls. That 9th inning took at least 45 minutes.
Yeah, that game was 4 hours total. It was the longest game that the Stallions have played this year.
1-0 from Byron with 1 away. High fly ball into right center field. Mackel ranging to his left. Settles under and hauls it in. 2 outs.
Yeah, this is just what Zach Byron does when he's on. He gets a lot of soft contact, and he gets it early in the count, which is really good because obviously that helps you go deeper into the game. And he's just working quick. He's throwing strikes, and his stuff moves. Everything he throws moves, which obviously is a huge advantage.
Lefty-lefty duel. It's Cole Durkin, the 250 hitter, who watches a strike at the knees. Behind 0-1, scoreless bottom 2. And 0-1 count, 2 outs. The bases are empty. Byron, again, with a whole lot of life in that slider, whips it in the zone 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, that's just back-to-back sliders. First one starts on the inside half, breaks outside. Second one looks like it's going to hit him, then dives back inside.
0-2 from Byron. Fastball upstairs, 1-2.
And now I would probably expect another slider down here.
Man, especially facing a lefty, that pitch running away from you,
yeah.
That is a tough one to hit. 1-2 with 2 outs from Byron. He'll go slider. He'll get the swing. He'll get the miss. And he picks up his second Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout of the night. And just like that, we're off to the top of the third. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings orchestrated by Zach Byron. And we are scoreless through 2 on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Top of the third. We're scoreless in Glens Falls. The first pitch to Colin Mackel is swung on and missed. 0-1, John Gross alongside Dylan McGlynn. A great night for baseball, both here in the PGCBL and at the MLB ranks. The Home Run Derby, the much-anticipated Home Run Derby, kicking off shortly tonight as pitch misses down and away. 1-1 now the count. Dylan, who's your pick? Who's going to win tonight?
I got to go with Ohtani. I feel like how do you pick against him in any aspect of the game at this point?
1-1, swung through, 1-2. And I'm with you. I think he's coming into it the best home run hitter. Clearly, he leads major leagues, and it's not even really close. But I always feel like there's a surprise in the home run derby.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause it's a different situation than hitting them in games. Grome really taking his time with the 1-2. Mackel slaps it into right, just past Joe Rendy, who was on the move. And that's the second base knock of the game for Saugerties. Colin Mackel now has 10 hits in the season. That was just his third hit that was not an extra base hit.
Yeah, he's been kind of a funny guy to watch this year. Got off to a really slow start. Then he's kind of just been slowly starting to pick it up. The at-bats have looked a lot better than the results have for much of this season.
Caden Kendall takes a strike at the outside corner, and with that base hit by Mackel, it snaps a 3-game hitless streak, so good to see the lefty get going. That brings up the 9-hitter, Caden Kendall, who has a hit in back-to-back appearances. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful by Grome back to first. We are scoreless in the top of the third to the 18-8 Stallions and the 7-23 Dragons, losers of 8 in a row. Lefty to righty, Mackel leads off at first. Now Mackel takes off. Pitch is in there for a strike. Throw it on to second. Not in time. And it's a Benson steal. Benson steal. They put stuff up you can't knock down.
Yeah, really good jump there by Mackel. You see Grome, he kind of takes a little while with that leg kick to get down the mound. So if you get a good jump, you get a few extra seconds there just before the ball even gets released.
So no outs and an 0-2 count. The Stallions have a runner in scoring position, looking to break things open. Mackel leads off at second. Two-seamer misses high and away to Caden Kendall. Max Morris is on deck.
Yeah, it'll be his first at-bat as a Stallion.
1-2 count from Grome, working out of the stretch, and he grooves it past the swinging bat of Caden Kendall for the first out of the inning, and that's already the 5th strikeout for Chris Grome.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about Zach Byron, who obviously has gone 6 up, 6 down to start his night, but Grome has been basically just as good. A pair of hits, but 5 strikeouts now, no runs yet. He's throwing a lot of good pitches, and he's been missing a lot of bats so far.
Max Morris, the catcher out of St. Thomas in Minnesota, steps in for his first at-bat as a Stallion. and an opportunity to drive home a run. Takes a fastball on the outside corner. Morris was a starting catcher as a freshman this past year for the Tommies. As Colin Mackel on second. Grome looks him back. 0-1 is Fandon 0-2.
Yeah, look kind of jumpy with that swing there. Pitch has a little bite on it. It really looked like it was kind of biting towards that left-handed batter's box.
0-2 from Grome as he checks over to second. Mackel leads off after the single and stolen base. Now he'll step off. So Max Morris again out of St. Thomas, which is a school that is making the extremely rare jump from D3 to D1. They're so good athletically across the board, are the Tommies of St. Thomas, again up in Minnesota, that they were actually voted out of their conference by the other universities' presidents. They were that dominant across the board, and now they're joining the Summit League for most sports. They're joining the Pioneer Football League for football. Pitch in the dirt, gets away from Collins. Mackel heads into third, and he's in there safely.
Yeah, nice read by Mackel. Again, a ball that Collins kept in front of him, but when you get that really good read out at second base, Mackel's got good speed, and I mean, you saw the throw, it wasn't really even close. Now it gives Morris a big opportunity to drive in a run here.
1-2 offering to Morris, line back foul. Mackel, the potential first run of the game, stands on third. We were scoreless in the top of the third. Now St. Thomas has a massive rivalry with St. John's of Minnesota. There's a St. John's connection with the Stallions too. The Stallions pitching coach from 2 summers ago, Jeff Foshing, his father Gary Foshing is the head football coach for St. John's. A massive rivalry between St. John's and St. Thomas, the two preeminent football programs from that conference, as the 1-2 misses high, 2-2.
You have to wonder what that transition is going to be like for a guy like Max Morris. You go from playing D3 to playing, some of the best players in the country.
2-2, sent back, and he keeps this at bat going. Yeah, it's going to be quite the jump. But it's a school that, listen, there's a reason why they're able to get all the way up to D1. And hey, the Summit League it's a good league.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to watch that. 2-2. Pushed out to right field, towards the right field line, giving chases Caffarella, and he could not make the catch in foul territory, which actually might have been a good thing because I think Mackel would have been able to tag there.
Yeah, you saw Mackel get back to third right away and tag up, and he pretty easily probably would have been able to score there. I don't think Caffarella intentionally dropped that. I think he just couldn't get there. But, yeah, like you mentioned, a good break for the Dragons. And here from Max Morris, how about this for your first at-bat? This has been a very impressive at-bat. He's fought off a lot of really good pitches, a couple nice takes. Still has a 2-2 count here.
Mackel leads off at third. Scoreless top of the third. The 2-2 home with one away. Changeup and a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the second out of the inning. So Morris is retired. And after putting a runner in scoring position with no outs, back-to-back Stallions are K'd up.
Yeah, and it's just a really tough situation for the Stallions. You have Kendall and Morris come up. Kendall's a guy who still looking to get into a rhythm. Morris a guy who is quite literally taking his first at-bat of the season. But again, it comes down to that situational hitting. And, I mean, Morris almost was able to produce that with the ball that just was out of the reach of Caffarella.
See if Nick Iverson can drive home Mackel as he cuts through the first offering from Grome, who now has 6 strikeouts. He has struck out 6 of the 10 batters his first way through the Stallions lineup. This is one of, if not the best offensive team of the league. 0-1 down and away, 1-1.
And Grome hasn't even gotten to a 3-ball count yet.
No. Scoreless top 3. It's been a pitcher's duel so far. Mackel leads off at third. The 1-1 to the righty Iverson, line back. And Iverson now behind 1 and 2. Really, neither pitcher has, right? I don't think we've seen a third ball yet today.
Yeah. You're right, yeah. Byron hasn't either.
So through nearly 2.5 innings, neither pitcher has issued 3 balls to a batter. Now it's a 1-2 with 2 outs to Iverson. Breaking pitch is Fandon, and the Stallions strand a runner in scoring position for the second straight inning. So we head to the bottom of the third. No runs. 1 hit, 1 left on base. We are scoreless from East Fields, headed to the bottom of the third. This is Saugerties Stallions Baseball, the Stallions Broadcast Network. And as we enter the bottom of the third, let's send it down field side to Jake Starr.
Thanks, John. I think the big storyline tonight so far is how these Stallions hitters have adjusted to Grom on the mound. For Glens Falls, a pitcher they haven't seen yet this season. He's got that funky delivery from the left side, so it's been a little bit difficult for these Stallions hitters. Interesting to see how the second time through the batters adjust to that. Other side of the mound, of course, Zach Byron looking really good through two. We'll see how he does here in the third and beyond, and I'll be back with you guys mid-5 and see what's changed since then.
Awesome. Thank you, Jake. And big thanks to all of you for joining us tonight in the Stallions Broadcast Network. Great to have some baseball back, and let's hope that we keep rolling through some games. Byron starts off with a strike to the righty Gorman. The 189 hitter watches a fastball. Scoreless bottom of the third. John Gross, Dylan McGlynn. That was just Jake Starr, tonight's sideline reporter. Byron, a big leg kick, and the slider whips on the outside corner. 0-2 with nobody out.
That is just disgusting.
Disgusting.
I mean, that thing is right down the middle of the left-handed batter's box and just somehow breaks back into the zone.
Byron's 0-2 pitch. Lob back foul to keep this at-bat going. I mean, how do you even hit that? You can't, I guess.
Yeah, especially 0-1 too. You know, you're not really looking for that pitch. Even in that situation, you know, you're not going to get a lot of swings and misses there, if ever, on a pitch like that in that situation.
I think this is the most movement that we've seen from Byron this year. He has always had a really good slider. That pitch just squeezed off the outside corner to the righty Gorman. Scoreless bottom of the third. A 1-2 count, no outs. Gorman, the 6 hitter, followed by J.C. Caffarella and Joe Rendy. 1-2 from Byron. The lefty takes a deep breath, pauses, comes home. Bouncer left side of the infield. Renwick charges from third. Sidearm flip to first in time. Much to the dismay of Michael Gorman. The ground out to the first out of the inning.
Yeah, he thought it beat it out. He beat it out, but did look like the throw beat him there just barely. Nice hustle by Gorman to get down the line. Kind of a high chopper, which gives you more time to get down the line, but a really, really nice job by Jack Renwick to get that ball out immediately after he picked it up.
J.C. Caffarella, who is hitless in his last 5 games, digs in. The lefty against a dominant lefty pitcher, at least today, in Zach Byron. And he's a guy, as he misses outside, who, as you talked about earlier, not the hardest throwing guy, is not going to rack up the most strikeouts, but he gets a whole lot of outs, does not make many mistakes.
Yeah, and he's consistent. You really know what you're going to get with him. So as a coach and as teammates, you know, that's a huge factor. It's not one of those, you know, kind of high-risk, high-reward guys where he might come in and just not be able to throw strikes. You know, at the very least, Zach Byron's going to give you a competitive game on the mound.
1-0 slider works the zone. 1-1 with now 1 out. Scoreless bottom 3. Byron goes slider again. It was below the knees, but Caffarella took a big go at it and now falls behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 away, the bases are empty. Bottom of the third. The Stallions, after having a doubleheader canceled yesterday, looking to get back into a groove. Lost their last game on Saturday against Amsterdam. And slider, did he go? Let's see. Yes, he did. J.C. Caffarella keyed up for our third Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout of the game.
Yeah, went back to that slider down, and I mean, Caffarella, he knew it was coming, just not able to hold up. And I mean, sometimes when you have a guy who's got his stuff working, you can literally tell the batter, hey, I'm throwing X pitch, and if it's good enough, they're not going to be able to hit it.
Joe Rendy, 114 batting average. Well, Byron just goes back to that slider. And yeah, as for a lefty batter, that looks like it's coming at your knees.
Yeah.
And then just hovers over the plate for strike one. We were scoreless in the bottom of the third. Great pitching so far from a couple lefties. 0-1 escapes outside at a fastball, 1-1.
I've been impressed with Max Morris behind the plate, too. The way he receives the ball, he's a good framer. And he just is very consistent in the way he catches pitches.
Byron's 1-1, high fastball. Fanned on 1-2. And keep in mind, this is the first time those two are working together. This is the first game for Morris, who has been in town for a bit, but with all these rainouts, him and Tommy Gross, another new face to the Stallions roster, a pitcher, they have not had a chance to play yet. 1-2, 2 outs from Byron. Fastball paints the outside black, and it's back-to-back strikeouts. Make that 4. Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeouts for the lefty out of Wofford, Zach Byron, and we are through 3. Another 1-2-3 inning as he's faced the minimum, and we head to the top of the fourth, scoreless from Eastfield on the Stallions Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to Eastfield here. Dylan McGlynn alongside John Gross on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Still scoreless here in the top of inning number 4. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Dallas Hot Wieners, the official bullpen sponsor of the Stallions. Bringing the hot sauce out of the bullpen. Design yourself strong sports performance. At DYS, they build better athletes. Dwyer Contracting, high-quality craftsmanship in a family-owned business. And Efros Orthodontics, the file provider for the Stallions. Leading off here in the top of the 4th is going to be Noah Berghammer, as Chris Grome back out for another inning, and he's been great through the first 3. Still no score here in Glens Falls, as the first pitch from Grome is swung on and missed. 0-1.
Well, the top 4 of the Stallions lineup, top 3, pardon me, they've had 4 total at-bats so far. Berghammer will make it 5. All 4 at-bats have been strikeouts.
Yep, not a winning recipe. The 0-1 from Grome, just off the outside corner, 1-1.
And really the key for the Stallions tonight, you'd love to get out early. We saw them last time here, the second game of the doubleheader, scored 6 runs in the first. But if you can have a lead or keep things close heading into the Glens Falls bullpen, that's where you can get some damage done. But Grome has looked really good today as the starter for the Dragons.
And the 1-1 inside, and the count 2-1. And yeah, going off that, I think that's a very good point. Obviously, Grome has looked great. And it's kind of looking unlikely, that the Stallions will run him out of the game super fast and score a bunch of runs off him. But if you can just work his pitch count, make him throw a lot of pitches, just try to get him out as soon as possible. And then, like you said, go to work on a bullpen that has really been the weak spot for the Dragons this year. As the 2-1 is on the inside corner, 2-2.
Absolutely, and we've seen the Stallions do that a few times against Glens Falls. Maybe score a couple runs early, but then really it's late in the game where you're able to capitalize against a bullpen that has struggled. But for now, just try to hit Grome, like you said, work up his pitch count, and try to get him out of the game as early as you can.
Grome set, long set, and now deals the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Berghammer strikes out. It's the 3rd consecutive strikeout of the night for Chris Grome. And there's 1 out here in the top of inning number 4.
Now the top third of the Stallions lineup, a combined 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts. Just major credit to the job that Grome has done in both pitchers. I love watching lefties pitch. There's something about it. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a righty. Maybe I'm a little bit envious, but it just looks awesome, especially when you have 2 really good lefties going at it.
First pitch to Albert Jennings is right there for a strike. 0-1. Yeah, 8 strikeouts now for Chris Grome. No walks, no runs, and just 2 hits through 3 1/3. The 0-1 to Jennings is in the dirt. 1-1.
And both pitchers have had really good off-speed stuff. That neither one is an overpowering fastball,
Yeah.
but when your off-speed has as much movement and as much difference in speed between your fastball, that makes your fastball even tougher to hit.
Grome comes set, and the 1-1. Swing and a ground ball hit to second, picked up by Joe Rendy, and that's out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down here for Grome to start the 4th, and that'll bring up Kip Futures.
And as much as we are crediting Grome, because he does deserve credit, let's not forget the Stallions have had 2 runners in scoring position. They've had chances. They had Mackel on second with nobody out, couldn't drive him home. So the opportunities are going to be there. It's just going to be a little tougher against a starting pitcher like Grome so far.
Futures flew out to right his first time, as the first pitch here is a breaking ball down and in. 1-0.
And he's a guy who, if he gets a fastball that's in the upper portion of the zone, forget about it. He's driving that thing, especially here.
So the 1-0, swing, and that one's fouled back. 1-1. Yeah, Futures, one at bat that I just find myself going back and watching is his 3rd home run, the one he hit here in Glens Falls. Really good at bat, got ahead 3-0, worked it all the way back full, and then got a high fastball, like you said, and just crushed it. As
Yeah.
it takes well outside there, so the count now 2-1.
Yeah, that was a bomb to left, and then the grand slam he had here, that was just a high fastball that he just drove into the bleachers in center field.
So the 2-1 now to Kip Futures. Big swing and a miss, and the count 2-2.
Grome took a little off that pitch.
Yeah, it looked like Futures was trying to hit his 4th of the season there. No such luck. Now the 2-2 pitch from Grome. Breaking ball hit in the air. High center field. Shading towards right center. A long run. That ball's not going to be caught. It drops for a base hit. So a high looping 2-out single for Kip Futures extends the inning. Now it'll bring up Andrew Wilhite.
Nice piece of hitting with 2 strikes. They're going to have to protect, especially after swinging and missing on the previous pitch. But great job by Futures to see something that he liked and keep this inning going. Again, it's not about getting a whole lot of runs at one time. It's about working up the pitch count of Grome, trying to chase him early, get a couple runs here and there, and then work through the Glens Falls bullpen and try to capitalize that.
So the first pitch to Wilhite is swung on and chopped foul. 0-1. Wilhite struck out looking in his first at-bat.
The 3 hits for Saugerties. All 3 have been singles.
Yeah, Tyler Kelder in the second, Colin Mackel in the third, and then just the last batter, Cape Futures. So the count 0-1 on Wilhite with 2 down, as that one's again fouled off, and the count now 0-2.
And he double fouled that off.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing, but he fouled it back. It bounced into the dirt and then hit his bat on the backswing. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that's definitely not something you see too often.
No.
But Andrew Wilhite just made contact twice.
I bet if you tried to do that 10 more times, he couldn't do it.
No, yeah. That's one of those things that just happens.
Yeah.
And you don't know how. So the count now 0-2 as Grome looks at Futures, fires upstairs, 1-2. Top of the 4th inning here at East Field, still scoreless between the Stallions and the Dragons. Grome comes set, another 1-2, swung on and missed, got him to chase one up and in, and Grome with his 9th strikeout in just 4 innings. We go to the bottom of the 4th here at East Field. No score between the Dragons and the Stallions. You're listening to Dylan McGlynn and John Gross on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Welcome back to East Field here, bottom of the fourth. Still no score between the Stallions and the Glens Falls Dragons. Zach Byron back out for another inning, and the number 10 hitter, Evan Keegan, leading off for Glens Falls. First pitch is hit well in the air to left. Jennings came in, and now it's going to get down well over his head. Keegan with a big turn, and he is going to get to second with a leadoff double. First hit and first base runner of the game for the Dragons here to start the bottom of the fourth.
No, Jennings stopped. He came in and then started to run back. Obviously, you always want to take your first few steps back. But even so, I don't think he would have caught that ball.
No.
Just a really good hit by Keegan. And you may question, okay, why is Evan Keegan, who you could maybe argue is the best hitter in this team, batting 10th? Well, it's for this reason right here. You have him batting 10th, and you have another really good contact hitter, Nick Marola, following him. So if Keegan can reach, that sets up the top of the order very well.
Yeah, so like you just mentioned, Marola at the plate, runner at second, and nobody out. First pitch from Byron is low, 1-0. And Zach Byron started the game by retiring the first 9 batters he faced, with 4 strikeouts before that double from Keegan. As he comes set, the 1-0 swung on and missed, 1-1. Marola, in his first at-bat, grounded right back to the mound. So he's 0 for 1. Byron comes set. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good slider down and in, and the count 1-2. Would be a big spot here for a strikeout, John.
Absolutely.
James Murphy, the shortstop, on deck for the Dragons. They have Evan Keegan at second base and nobody out. Byron comes set. And the 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? They appeal, and no, he did not. Marola holds up, and the count 2-2.
Yeah, good pitch by Byron. Good take by Marola. He started to go after it, but the last second was able to think better of it. Still a chance for Byron to record this strikeout.
So the count now 2-2. Byron set. And fires. Struck him out. Big swing and a miss at a slider. And a big strikeout for out number 1 here in the fourth.
Yeah, nice job by Byron. Gives up the double, and it was a well-hit double by Evan Keegan, then responds with a strikeout. Now you have James Murphy up. Try to keep this in the infield. Obviously would love a strikeout too, but have to keep attacking these batters.
First pitch to James Murphy. Swung on and missed. And the count 0-1. Again, the slider there from Byron. He is really starting a lot of at-bats with that slider.
That just makes things so tough. When you see a pitch like that to start off an at-bat, it's like, oh, all right, well, he has that in his arsenal. My night just got harder.
And the 0-1. Strike on the inside corner. Went to the fastball that time, and the count 0-2.
And it makes that fastball just look even tougher to hit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like Byron's, throwing 98, 100 miles an hour, but it certainly feels a lot harder than it is when it comes off of the slider.
That's the benefits of working backwards.
Byron will step off here and go through the signs one more time with Max Morris. Again, Max Morris behind the dish, his first game here with the Stallions. Byron set. And the 0-2. Struck him out swinging again. It's the slider. Back-to-back punch-outs for Byron. And there's 2 away.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. These sliders are untouchable. And now with a lefty in Brilliance at the plate, this is another chance for him to go back to that slider. Pitches that move like that are just super tough when it's lefty-lefty or righty-righty. It's advantage pitcher for this very reason.
And Brilliance struck out his first time. Do you want to guess what pitch he struck out on?
Knuckle curve?
Knuckle ball. Now, of course, it was the slider from Byron. So Brilliance with a runner at second, 2 outs. First pitch slider, I mean, he's just way out in front on that one.
Just made him look silly.
Yeah, not even really in the same area code as the ball with that swing and the count 0-1. It's kind of just a classic case of pulling your head out too early there. And the 0-1. Another slider. This one gets the inside corner. 0-2. He's not going to throw a different pitch, do you think? I wouldn't think he throws anything but a slider here.
Unless he comes fastball inside, and I don't know. We'll see.
Keegan off of second. 2 outs. 0-2 count. Byron set. And the pitch. Struck him out swinging. Another slider. Zach Byron strikes out the side after allowing a leadoff double. And we remain scoreless as we head to inning number 5. 4 shutout innings for Zach Byron with just 1 hit allowed. Here from East Field, you're listening to Dylan McGlynn and John Gross on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Back here at East Field, top of the 5th, just about ready to get underway. Still no score between the Stallions and the Dragons. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Grist Mill Realty. Looking to sell? List with Grist Mill. Halter Associates Realty. Make the right move with Halter. Hell's Mortal Realty and Insurance, official Stallion sponsor of Insurance Run. iMedView Incorporated, independent medical review, world-class results, and local connections. IXL Health and Fitness Club, keeping the Stallions fit all season long. So leading off the top of the 5th here for the Stallions will be Tyler Kelder. Chris Grome still out on the mound for the Dragons. He has thrown 4 scoreless innings, and he has really been fantastic.
9 strikeouts in those 4 innings as well.
Big first pitch curveball drops in there to Kelder, and the count 0-1.
Kelder 1 for 1. He had a single back in the second, was the first base runner of the game.
And he swings at this one and lifts it foul out of play, so now the count 0-2.
I think this is, so far, has been my favorite starting pitching matchup of the year.
It's really been something.
It's been fun to watch. 2 lefties, similar build, similar type of pitchers. They're not going to overpower you, but have really good off-speed stuff, a lot of movement on their breaking balls.
Now the 0-2 pitch from Grome is hit on a line into left field, a base hit. So Tyler Kelder with his second hit of the night, both of them coming on 2 strike counts, and the Stallions have the leadoff man aboard.
Nicely done by TK. Just sees a pitch that he can rip, able to protect on an 0-2 pitch, and that's the risk that you run if you're Grome. Forcing something into the zone when it's 0-2, maybe try to get Kelder to chase instead, but Tyler squares up on one and pokes it into left.
That'll bring up Jack Renwick, grounded out to third in his first at-bat. Kelder leads off first. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. Renwick enters tonight, batting 222, 340 on base percentage, 9 RBIs in only 13 games. As he shows bunt, pops it up. It's going to get down in front of the mound. Grome goes to first just in time. So a sac bunt for Renwick moves Kelder up to second base here with 1 away.
I like the decision to bunt. You're having a tough time getting guys on and moving them around. And that was almost a disastrous bunt because it was popped up. But Grome couldn't quite get there to make the catch. Still made a really nice throw. That was a blind throw that he made. He just knew where he was, knew where first base was, and threw it right in the money.
And I'll bring up Colin Mackel now, runner in scoring position. As the first pitch was fouled back, 0-1. Mackel singled his first time. Another hit right here could potentially get the first run of the game on the board. I mean, we're in the 5th inning, and we have not even been playing for an hour yet. Grome set. The 0-1 to Mackel is in the dirt. Good block by Collins. Will keep Kelder at second, and the count 1-1.
It's been a good pitching matchup, and that's what happens when guys are attacking the zone, guys are striking people out, players are putting balls in play, and when you eliminate the walks, basically, games are going to move along quickly.
Grome comes set. Gives Kelder a look. No 1-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball by him in the count 1-2. Yeah, that's one of those swings for Mackel where if he makes contact, he's going to really drive the ball. Going with a long look at the signs of catcher John Collins, and now will step off. Now comes set. Here's the 1-2. It's hit in the air, center field, sending back. That ball is off the wall. Gorman plays it off the wall. Kelder will score. Mackel into second with a double, and it's 1-0 Stallions. Colin Mackel's second hit of the game goes for extra bases and puts the first run of the night on the board.
Well, what do you know? Mr. Extra Base knock himself. Colin Mackel again onto second base with a double. Has now 11 hits this season. 8 have gone for extra bases, including now 6 doubles.
Gives the Stallions a 1-0 lead and brings up Caden Kendall. First pitch swung on and missed, so the count 0-1. Thirteen RBIs on the year now for Colin Mackel. Grom comes set. 0-1 swung on a miss, and the count 0-2. Mackel leads off second base. 1 out in the inning. Stallions with a 1-0 lead here. And that one fouls straight back as Kendall fights to stay alive. Caden Kendall came up with the runner in scoring position his first at-bat as well back in the third, but unfortunately struck out, so looking to at least advance Mackel to third here. Grom comes set, another 0-2 pitch. And that is in there for a called third strike. Kendall goes down looking, his second strikeout. And that's out number 2 here in the 5th.
Well, tell me if this looks familiar or not, Dylan. The similar situation. Morris and Kendall both with opportunities with a runner on second. And as we were just saying, we saw this back in the third. Max Morris, he struck out swinging, but it was a very competitive at-bat. His first at-bat of the summer with the Stallions. He battled. We'll see if he can put one in play now.
Runner at second and 2 outs. Grom comes set. And the first pitch to Morris is outside, 1-0. Yeah, Morris again, his first game with the Stallions, struck out his first at-bat. He's behind the dish tonight. Talked a lot about his school, University of St. Thomas in Minnesota. Another guy who came a long way to be here as he takes a strike right off the outside corner, 1-1. Familiar face behind the behind home plate tonight, Mark Irish.
Yeah.
Stallions have seen plenty of him this summer. I'm sure the Dragons have too.
And Zach Grant in the field. Both guys the Stallions have seen a whole lot of.
That one up and away. Now the count 2-1 on Morris. Yeah, you mentioned Morris's first at-bat. Really, really good at-bat. Fell behind, had 2 strikes on him. Fought off some really good pitches. Worked it back to 2-2, but then, like you mentioned, just couldn't finish it off and struck out to end that inning.
Yeah, competitive at-bat. He battled, and that's not a bad strikeout.
2-1, hit in the air to right field. Coming on Scaffarella, it drops in front of him for a base hit. Mackel being waved home. The throw is cut off, and the Stallions lead it 2-0. Max Morris, his first hit and his first RBI with the Stallions, and that doubles the lead here in the top of the 5th.
Another really good at-bat, putting barrel on ball, just a little drive out to right. And like you said, that doubles things up, and now the hits are starting to come. 2 runs for Saugerties on 6 hits. They're starting to see Grom a little bit better. And that's what you would hope for at this point of the game, right? It's these guys, it's their second time through the lineup. Guys are seeing him. They're talking about him. Now they're finding success.
Bring up Nick Iverson as the first pitch is up and in for a ball. And yeah, like you mentioned, even just this inning compared to the first four, it just seems like the Stallions are putting together much better at bats. They're hitting the ball hard, and they're not striking out. They have struck out once this inning, but putting the ball in play as Iverson puts this one in play, but lifts it high in the air. Shallow center, Joe Rendy right behind the bag makes the catch to end the inning, but the Stallions play a pair. And as we head to the bottom of inning number 5, it's now 2-0 Stallions here on the Stallion Broadcast Network. Back here for the bottom of inning number 5, East Field and Glens Falls Stallions now with a 2-0 lead. And before we get back to the action, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Jake Starr. Jake, what do you have for us?
Yeah, thanks, Dylan. Stallions bats finally broke through there in the top half of the 5th inning. How about Max Morris, the catcher tonight, making his first start with the Stallions? Ripped a nice RBI single there, make it 2-0. Zach Byron, guys, he's been dealing tonight. Just somebody who's been out there just doing his thing, and he's pitched well this year, and you're seeing him continue that success tonight. He's got a nice little lead now. We'll see what he can do with it, and obviously if you're the Stallions, looking for more insurance runs there. And also, I don't know if this was noticeable in the broadcast, there was some rain, a little bit of a light drizzle for about 20-25 minutes, ended about 10 minutes ago, so more rain because the rain never seems to go away. Definitely something to look out for, but knock on wood, the forecast looks clear the rest of the night, so hopefully get some more baseball and some more Stallions runs rest of the way. Dylan, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Jake. Back up here at the broadcast. Jake just mentioned has been fantastic as the first pitch misses low. 1-0.
And now he has a little bit of breathing room, a 2-0 lead. Nice little confidence boost. Not that he needed much more confidence after a strong 4-inning start so far.
That one fouled right into the glove of Morris, and the count 1-1. And yeah, I mean, what a job in that 4th inning. Leadoff double, and he strikes out the next 3 batters. All swinging as well, and all with the slider. You could make an argument that Byron's slider is the best any single pitch has looked for any Stallions pitcher all summer tonight.
I think so.
That one inside. Now the count 2-1 on Kersey.
I think the only one that could really compare to it, maybe when Jack Walker's really on, his fastball's looking great, and then that big curve that he has. Just the 1-2 punch of those two is really good.
That one fouled out of play. The count 2-2. The other pitch that came to mind for me was Andres Alphonse's changeup.
Yes, that's a great one.
Because he had the great 6-inning shutout start against Amsterdam and 7 strikeouts. I believe 5 or 6 of them came off his changeup. So the count now 2-2 on Joe Kersey, who flew out his first time. Byron set, kicks, and deals. Inside, now the count's full. And, well, we mentioned it earlier, but this is the first 3-ball count of the night for Zach Byron on the mound, and it comes to the first batter in the 5th inning.
Remarkable. So you love to see it from a pitcher. Just efficient, attack the zone, get after the batter, and don't walk anyone.
So the count full. The 3-2 from Byron. Struck him out. Oh, no. Excuse me. That was a foul ball.
Lined
Well,
into
sorry
the
for my
Stallions'
excitement.
dugout.
Yeah, that
no
was
worries.
sliced right into the Stallions' dugout. So the count remains full. So at least one more pitch for Byron here in this first at-bat of the inning. As he comes set. And another 3-2. And again, Kersey fouls it away. Good at-bat here from Joe Kersey to start this inning.
It is, and just to go back to something Jake Starr mentioned, it was drizzling a little bit. We didn't notice it in here, so it clearly was not a big deal. Dion Gaudier, LFC, commenting not liking people walking around with umbrellas. Yeah, typically not a good sign, but it does seem like the rain has tapered off, and knock on wood, but we should be okay.
Another 3-2 pitch from Byron. That is in there for a called strike 3. Kersey immediately started to trot to first, but that pitch really ended up right back down the middle.
Man, it's insane because what Kersey probably saw was that pitch is going to be outside. That's going to be teetering on the lefty batter box. Instead, that's on the outside corner of the plate. Boom, strike 3. 1 away.
So with 1 out, that'll bring up the catcher, John Collins, as he takes the slider outside, 1-0. 4 consecutive strikeouts now for Zach Byron going back to that 4th inning. 8 on the evening. As the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. 1-1.
Both pitchers have been so good. The Stallions' bats so far have been able to get the best of Grome, at least last inning, but both pitchers have been really fun to watch.
Byron deals the 1-1. This one fell out of play, and now the count 1-2. And yeah, like you mentioned, this has just been, I mean, if you are a pitcher, you're a pitching coach, you just like watching pitching, this is a dream game.
It really is. And Byron again ahead in the count 1-2.
And here comes the 1-2, and it is upstairs to even the count, 2-2. Here's another stat for you, too. So the last at-bat was the first one that Byron reached 3 balls on. This is the first inning that he's had 2 separate counts with 2 balls. And that one swung on and missed. Half-hearted attempt from John Collins. 5 consecutive strikeouts for Zach Byron. And there's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th.
And Dylan, he's K'd up 7 of the last 8 batters that he's faced.
Yeah.
Remarkable streak. This is a guy who entered today's game with 10 strikeouts in the season.
In 17 and 2/3
You're
as
right,
well.
in 17 and 2/3, so it's not like he hadn't pitched a lot. He hadn't been a big strikeout pitcher, but now it's that slider that is just so potent today, and he is just rolling through this Dragons batting order.
And that will bring up a guy who has already struck out once tonight, Cole Durkin, as he swings and misses at a nice slider, 0-1. I mean, and you know when that pitch is working, when you're throwing it as often as he is, and you're still getting swings like that. Like, Durkin was not even close on that one.
No, not even close.
0-1, swung on and missed, 0-2.
Same pitch. He's going to keep going to it all game long. I'm curious to see how long Rich Doobie keeps him in the game for. Looks like there is some action in the Stallions bullpen, but I love to watch him keep going.
Count 0-2 on Durkin, 2 outs in the 5th. Byron deals. That is just outside. Well, at least Mark Irish thought so. And the count 1-2. You saw the catcher, Max Morris, behind the dish. He froze. Byron took a half step towards the third base dugout there, but no luck. Have to try it again, the 1-2. Struck him out swinging, and he does it anyways. Byron strikes out the side. He's set down 6 in a row via the punch-out. We're through 5 here from Glens Falls. Stallions with a 2-0 lead. You're listening to Dylan McGlynn and John Gross on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Back here for the top of the 6th inning from East Field as the first pitch to the catcher. Or excuse me, first pitch to Noah Berghammer is fouled back to make the count 0-1. 2-0 Stallions here in the top of inning number 6. It is still Chris Grom on the mound for the Dragons here. 5 innings, 2 runs for him so far. As he takes a long look and then will step out, and now John Collins behind the dish will reset himself as well. And again, John, this game has just been flying along. An hour and 12 minutes ago, we started this broadcast. We're in the 6th inning already.
Yeah, that's, again, just 2 pitchers doing their thing, attacking the strike zone.
Grom again with a long look at the signs. The 0-1 is foul out of play, 0-2.
Really long look. And Grom, for the most part, had been working pretty quickly, but this at bat, at least, he's starting to take his time a bit.
Yeah, I noticed it a little bit last inning. He was taking a little bit more time, being a little bit more deliberate when taking the signs. Not sure if, maybe there's a little bit of confusion there, or maybe he's just trying to be more deliberate with what he's choosing to throw. But regardless, he's ahead 0-2 on Noah Berghammer as he kicks, fires, and that one came in, almost hit him. But Berghammer able to dance out of the way, now the count 1-2. So Zach Byron, through 5 innings, has 10 strikeouts.
Remarkable. 10 strikeouts, a guy who entered today again.
Yeah.
He hasn't pitched a couple innings, 17 plus innings.
As Berghammer fouls that one away.
Had 10 strikeouts all season and has 10 today. Remarkable.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts in 17 2/3 in his first 4 starts combined. 10 strikeouts in 5 innings tonight. We'll see if he comes back out for the 6th. Stallions do have plenty of arms in the bullpen available to throw after really not having much action the last couple weeks, as Berghammer tips that one into the glove of John Collins. That is strike 3 and out number 1 here in the top of inning number 6. So that'll bring up Albert Jennings, the left fielder tonight. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Stallions offense, when you go all the way back to the last 2 games here as Jennings swings and misses, the last 2 games for the Stallions offense, just 2 runs combined so far, when you include obviously the first 5 innings of this game.
Right, and it's been, tough, but again, with all these days off, you're not used to seeing live pitching. I think that's, as Jennings takes the ball down and outside, I think that's the toughest part about these rainouts, right? Because pitching is pitching, but hitting, you're not used to seeing live pitching, and that's a big adjustment to have to make.
1-1 to Jennings is foul out of play, and the count 1-2. Yeah, and the other thing too with pitchers, if it's rained out, you can still go in and throw a bullpen,
right,
and maybe kind of simulate like you're throwing. But if you're a hitter, the only way to get live at bats is to get live at bats.
Right. You could face a pitching machine, you could have somebody toss to
Yeah.
you, but not the same.
1-2 fouled off as Jennings stays alive. A lot of people feel like, this is kind of on the related topic, feel like pitching is getting too good and that hitting hasn't been able to keep up. With the 3 true outcomes, people are saying that they have to adjust to that. As that one outside, 2-2. Like the basic train of thought is pitchers are so good, their stuff is so good, that teams have leaned into the 3 true outcomes because it's simply become the most, it's more efficient if you can score a run on one swing rather than trying to string multiple hits together. That one just misses, and the count full on Albert Jennings.
Well, I'll say this, and I've had this discussion before with Coach Juby. He's pointed out that league ERA is higher this year than ever, at least in recent history, and it has been increasing. So, yeah, pitching might be more dominant, especially at the higher level. There's really some really good starting pitchers, get a high spin rate, a lot of velocity. But at the end of the day, maybe their command isn't there. Maybe they're going to be walking a lot of guys. So whether it's hitting, walking, runs are going to be runs. So however it has to come. But I don't know. It is quite the conundrum.
3-2 again, fouled off. Great at bat from Jennings here as he stays alive. Yeah, I think the one thing that you can say to that too as well, you look at beginning of the year, a lot of people were talking about the league batting average being the lowest it had been since 1968. But then when you looked at runs per game, MLB teams this year were averaging almost a full run more than in the Bob Gibson year. As another 3-2 is in there on the outside corner for a called strike 3. So a good at bat from Jennings, but Grome wears him out and catches him looking with a good breaking ball for out number 2.
And just to go back to that conversation, I think there are a couple ways you can look at it, right? Number one is from simply the winning perspective and scoring runs, right? The objective offense in baseball is to score runs. So batting average might be low, but if you're scoring runs, great.
First pitch to Kip Futures is up and away.
But then you have number 2. Then you have just the product of Major League Baseball, okay? If teams aren't hitting, that's not really fun to watch. If they're having a couple home runs a game, but that's it, that's not fun to watch.
Now 2-0 on Futures.
So it's a fine line that's currently going on, and I think it's really going to alter the direction of Major League Baseball moving forward.
Big swing and a miss there from Kip Futures in the count now. 2-1.
What is the priority going to be? Is it going to be to score runs, or are you going to maybe change things so you're going to change things so maybe fans enjoy the game more? I don't know.
And the 2-1. Lifted in the air, shallow right center. Joe Rendy moving back, and he makes the catch to end the inning. So another strong inning for Chris Grome on the mound. 6 innings, 2 runs for him. However, Dragons haven't been able to get him any run support because Zach Byron is dealing. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Stallions here on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Back here on the Stallions Broadcast Network, bottom of the 6th inning here from East Field. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by J. Mullins & Sons Incorporated, masonry, excavation, building, and a whole lot more. Jim Hallwick, seamless gutters, protect your home with Jim Hallwick. Jolly Cow, the Jolly Cow in Lake Katrine, because everybody loves ice cream. Lineman Institute of the Northeast, climb to a successful career. Stallions looking to climb to a successful win. They have a few more innings to go as Connor Bruce enters on the mound, relieving Zach Byron as his first pitch is a called strike to Michael Gorman.
Byron with quite possibly the best start of the season for Saugerties. 5 innings, 10 strikeouts, 1 hit, no runs, no walks.
Yeah, he was just absolutely dominant as that one misses low to even the count 1-1. And yeah, I mean, we talked about it right when Bruce came out of the bullpen. Maybe a little bit soon, a little bit of a quick hook on Byron, but I think the other factor, as that one misses down and in, is that you have a lot of arms that haven't pitched in a really long time, and I think if you can give a couple guys 1 or 2 innings, get 3 other pitchers in this game, that's kind of a win for the Stallions. As a 2-1 is chopped high to third, fielded by Renwick, double clutches, but makes the play, and there's one gone.
Yeah, and listen, Byron's in line for the win. He pitched 5 with the lead. I think maybe in a college season, if he was pitching like this, he'd maybe keep going. But again, summer ball, this point of the season, give your bullpen a shot. Let him work through some things, especially a guy like Connor Bruce has been very consistent this year, and you don't need to push Byron any more than you did today. 5 really strong innings, and he better get recognition from the league tonight. That's all I'll say.
First pitch to JC Caffarella swung on and missed. And yeah, if you're not aware, on the PGCBL Twitter account, every night they highlight 4 or 5 players from around the league who had a notable performance. Stallions, have had quite a few guys featured on there, and hopefully from tonight's games we should see Zach Byron. As that one fouled back right into the gear of Max Morris, and now the count 0-2 on Caffarella.
Have we seen any Stallions pitcher get it? Did Font get it
when I said that, that's the exact thing I was thinking of, because we've seen Andrew Wilhite, we've seen Kip Futures, we've seen all Noah Berghammer, all these guys have been on there, but I don't know that we've seen a Stallions pitcher. 0-2 from Bruce is just outside, 1-2.
And I think the only appearance that maybe is similar to what we saw from Byron was a Font against Amsterdam. The shutout, 7 innings I think he went?
6.
6
and
innings.
Then this man kind of Bruce through the last 3. As that one chopped to first, Kip Futures takes it himself, and that's out number 2.
I will have to go back and check if a Font got recognized for that. He should have. I hope he did.
6 shutout innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks. Got the win. That was a 1-0 win over the Amsterdam Mohawks at Cantine Field. I have to say, that was probably one of my favorite games of the year so far.
That was kind of similar to tonight.
Yeah.
Just a really good pitching duel.
Yeah.
But that was a great baseball game, top to bottom.
So 2 outs, base is empty, and Joe Rendy takes strike 1. Bottom of the 6th here. Stallions still with a 2-0 lead over the Dragons. This game has just been absolutely flying along. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Stallions. No runs on just 1 hit for Glens Falls so far. That one misses inside, and now the count even, 1-1.
And as well as the Stallions have played, pitching-wise in the field, 6 hits, just 2 runs though, just a 2-0 lead. So this one far from over. They have to keep Glens Falls at bay, and then offensively need a couple more insurance runs.
1-1 is called strike, 1-2. Yeah, that's the dangerous thing about a game like this. The pitching's been great, the offense, they haven't pushed across many runs, but they're hitting the ball, they're getting guys on base. But again, it's only a 2-run game, so you're just a couple mistakes away from the Dragons coming back and being able to tie this game up. So you obviously would love for some more runs if you're Saugerties. But first, you need one more strike here from Connor Bruce. He's got a 1-2 count on Joe Rendy. 2 outs and the base is empty here in the bottom of the 6th. Bruce kicks and deals. Hit high in the air, shallow left field. And Jennings doesn't see it. Nobody knows where it is. It's going to fall. And Rendy's going to get all the way to second. Jennings lost it in the lights. And that is going to be a double for Joe Rendy.
That is the second time that we've seen that happen, actually, with Jennings in left field. Maybe it's something with these lights. I don't know. But he had absolutely no idea where that ball was. And the Stallions are lucky that ball was not hit any deeper, because if that ball is hit towards the fence, that very well could have been an inside the park home run, but it was to shallow left, so it was only a double.
And now a dangerous hitter in the form of Evan Keegan, runner at second and 2 outs. First pitch to Keegan misses low, 1-0. And obviously the other thing with that too is there was 2 strikes. Bruce had 2 strikes on him, 1-2 count. He gets a high pop up. He did his job.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of the way scoring works, obviously he can still get burned with an earned run because Jennings never touched that ball, so that does get scored as a double.
That's a double.
So they count 1-0 on Evan Keegan, who also doubled. Those doubles are the only 2 hits of the game for Saugerties so far, or for Glens Falls, excuse me. As that one's fouled back. 1-1.
And you were just saying a couple minutes ago, the Stallions are only a couple of mistakes away from this being a tie game, and there's one right there. Again, it's a tough play because these lights are tough to see. I mean, I'm looking out in the field. They're blinding me right now from the broadcast booth, so I can only imagine what it's like in the fields, but still a tough pill to swallow.
The 1-1 pitch misses low, 2-1. Bruce entering tonight with a 2.77 ERA. Has appeared exclusively out of the bullpen for the Stallions. Looking to get just one more out and get them into the 7th with a lead. Evan Keegan steps out, excuse me. It's 2-0 Stallions, bottom of the 6th. Glens Falls has Joe Rendy at second base with 2 outs, and a 2-1 count on Evan Keegan. Bruce fires. That one's in there on the outside corner, 2-2.
Great spot. That is a fastball that just touches the outside edge. Could not have placed it any better.
Now he really set himself up to go anywhere else here, especially when he comes with that fastball. 2 strikes, could maybe try to go off speed. Rendy leads off second. Bruce gives him a look. The 2-2. Foul tip right at home plate, and he stays alive.
Keegan's always a tough out.
Yeah.
It's 321. Guy who's going to get on base, had a double earlier today. Really
Yeah, he's tied for the team lead in RBIs with 10. Has the highest OPS of any qualified Dragons hitters this season. Looking to come up big for his team here right now. Runner in scoring position, another 2-2. Ground ball to third. Renwick fields. The throw to first is in time to end the inning. So Connor Bruce works around and a mistake from Albert Jennings, and we head to the 7th. Still 2-0 Stallions. Here from East Field, you're listening to Dylan McGlynn and John Gross on the Stallions Broadcast Network.
Top of the 7th, 2-0 Saugerties. Glens Falls, New York.
Nah, he was supposed to start, but he got scratched.
Stallions looking to add to this advantage, and they'll face a new pitcher at Andrew Huffman. But first, Stallions baseball is brought to you by Main Street Restaurant, voted the best Mexican restaurant in the Hudson Valley. Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, the Stallions strikeout sponsor, Mirabella's Restaurant, perfect for friends and family tonight and every night. Montano Shoe Store, the best athletes wear the best for Montanos. Nacarado Insurance, over 50 years, 50 carriers, they've got you covered. PC Smith & Sons Hardware, Smith Hardware and Main Street, got a project, they can help. And Peak Trading, need it lifted up or tied down, Peak Trading has the supplies. So Andrew Huffman, the righty out of SUNY Brockport, makes his Glens Falls debut against the 18-8 Saugerties Stallions.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. Glens Falls, a team that has, really not had much luck with their bullpen, really struggling with that depth. So a new face in here to see what he can do.
Andrew Wilhite leads off, takes a fastball high and outside. So the final line for Chris Grome, 6 innings. How about 12 strikeouts? No walks.
Yeah.
6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. The 1-0 from the righty Huffman, jammed at the hands, lofted down the third base side, and bounces just in front of a racing Nick Marola.
Yeah, both starting pitchers tonight with 2 strikeouts per inning. 10 in 5
Remarkable.
innings for Zach Byron, 12 in 6 innings for Grome. So as good of a pitcher's duel as you're really going to get here in the PGCBL tonight.
Righty-lefty duel. Wilhite's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And he's a little behind in the swing of the 1-2, the 1-1, pardon me, count now 1 and 2. 5-6-7 to up for Saugerties. It's Wilhite followed by the 2 for 2 Tyler Kelder, and then Jack Renwick. Here's the 1-2 from the righty Huffman. Misses in the dirt, 2-2. Stallions scored both runs in the top of the 5th. That's it. 6 hits for Saugerties, 2 for Glens Falls. 2-2 offering from the righty Huffman. In the air to left. Making his way towards the line is Durkin. In foul territory, slides to make the grab. Nice catch by Cole Durkin for the first out of the 7th.
Yeah, really nice play there. I mean, at first I didn't think he was even going to really have a play necessarily, and he ends up just going all out with a nice sliding catch. Great read off the bat, great jump, and you know that's the kind of stuff. That's why those jumps are so important when we talk about Albert Jennings going in on one. It probably didn't affect the outcome of that play, but then in plays like that, you need to get a perfect jump or you're not going to catch the ball.
So Tyler Kelder, who is 2 for 2, steps in, watches a fastball upstairs. And it's also tough, too, because the lights are on, and it's not a night sky. It is a cloudy night.
Yeah.
The clouds are still visible, so the ball is really going to blend into the clouds. 1-0 offering with 1 away in the 7th is outside, 2-0.
Well, Huffman has certainly come out here throwing hard.
He has, yeah.
It's definitely the first thing that I think most people would notice if they came to the ballpark and saw him pitch for the first time.
2-0 from the first base side of the rubber. An over-the-top delivery is blown past the bat of Kelder. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 away, base is empty. Kelder 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. As he steps out, now taps the plate. Brings the bat over his right shoulder. Righty-righty. Huffman rocks and fires the 2-1 upstairs for ball 3.
Yeah, not the count you want to be in against a guy like Tyler Kelder. Worst thing you can do here is just try to sneak yourself a strike and, think, oh, I can groove a fastball and just get away with a strike, because against a guy like him, you really can't.
Hitters count 3-1. Huffman stares down to John Collins behind the plate. With 1 away, he'll fire home and paint the outside edge as the count runs full.
Yeah, see, now that's a perfect 3-1 pitch.
That is.
You get the zone, you just dot the outside corner, you're not going to get a lot of swings and misses on that 3-1 pitch, especially to a right-handed hitter.
3-2, 1 out, 2-0 Stallions, and Kelder is fanned in a high fastball. So I don't know if we saw a single off-speed pitch in that sequence from Huffman, but it pays off with a strikeout.
Yeah, well, you saw that 3-2 pitch. He kind of quick pitched him, didn't go with a big leg kick, and it looked like it did just throw off Kelder's timing enough to get him behind on that one. Don't think he was expecting that at all, because we haven't seen anything like that from Huffman just up until that pitch right there.
2 outs for Jack Renwick. Renwick is 0 for 2. So he waits the first offering, fastball upstairs. And Dylan, what a different look we're getting, right? You got a lefty for 6 innings, heavy off-speed guy, not a hard fastball, and now a righty who just fires it in there.
Yeah, it's really tough for hitters, and I think you talk about the Tampa Bay Rays. That's one of the reasons they're so successful, as that one's up for a ball, 2-0 now. One of the reasons they're so successful in their bullpen is because they have so many guys with all these different arm actions, some guys throw hard, some guys throw really soft. As a batter, when you're constantly having to adjust every at-bat, it makes it really difficult to hit.
2-0 on the outer portion of the plate for strike 1. 2-1 count, 2 outs.
That's also the reason why you're seeing a lot more pitchers, not go as deep into games. Because once you get the 3rd time through the order, there's the infamous saying, you don't want a hitter to get used to facing one pitcher.
2-1, same spot, same result, 2-2 count with 2 outs. Yeah, so you see that all the time, guys being pulled early. Unless you're Garrett Cole and you're pretty fired up and you're going to tell Aaron Boone, nah, I'm staying in there.
Yeah, unless you have the ability to just tell your manager no.
2-2 from Huffman, looking to record a 1-2-3 inning in his Glens Falls debut, and he does just that. A swinging strike 3 from Renwick on a high fastball, and back-to-back Ks by Andrew Huffman wrap up the top of the 7th. So, folks, time to get stretched out. Bottom of the 7th. After this, 7th inning stretch from Eastfield. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 2-0 Saugerties in the Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom 7, top of the order for Glens Falls. Nick Marola leads off 0 for 2 against the tall righty out of Georgia Southern. Connor Bruce, his first delivery of the 7th, works the outside part of the plate. Strike 1. John Gross, Dylan McGlynn, and you with us on the Saugerties Stallions broadcast network. Stallions lead 2-0 in the bottom of the 7th. The 0-1 misses down and outside, and the 9th meeting of the season between these two squads. The Stallions lead the season series 7-1. The lone loss for Saugerties came at Cantine Fields back in June. A 13-12 win for Glens Falls. Otherwise, this has been a lopsided series. 1-0 misses inside from Bruce to the righty. 2-1.
Yeah, well, I mentioned in the top half of this inning, if you like well-pitched games, this is basically the perfect example for you. If you like well-pitched games, do not go back and watch that 13-12 game.
Well, you know what?
You won't enjoy it.
I actually have good news. In prevention of people watching that game, that's when the internet went out. So there was no broadcast.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So
Lucky
even if you were thinking
guys.
of punishing yourself, you can't do it. Fell back 2-2. Yeah, that was right after a big storm. And I think we thought that would be the craziest situation in the summer, right? No internet.
Yeah.
Little did we know that we would have all these rainouts.
And because the game went so long, it went past 11 o'clock. With the
Yes.
noise ordinance, we couldn't play music, walk-up songs, or anything. Couldn't announce who was coming to the plate.
2-2 from Bruce, righty. Two-seamer just off the outer edge. Now a full count. Yeah, and even the PA announcements were whispers.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know
like-
how quietly you can whisper when it's into a microphone,
Right.
but yeah, it was just a weird atmosphere.
Sounded like Rob was telling bedtime stories in the mic. A chopper to short, charging it is Berghammer. On the move, flips it to first in time. 1 down.
Yeah, Noah Berghammer, really strong fielder. You can kind of stick him anywhere. He's played a lot. He's played mostly at second base, but he's spent a good amount of time at shortstop as well. And you see why with a throw like that. That's a tough throw on the run. And, you know, he just makes it look so easy. He gets a lot of power behind it.
Stallions nursing a 2-0 advantage. Both runs came in the 5th. So after the leadoff batter retired, brings up the 2-hitter, James Murphy. Also 0 for 2, puts this on a hop down the third base side foul. 0-1. Murphy popped out to short in his first at-bat, then struck out swinging in the 4th.
Yeah, Murphy entering tonight just hitting just .214, but with a .365 on base percentage. So even though the hits aren't coming, he's still getting on base.
0-1, push to left. Jennings charging in. Jennings can't quite get there, and one hops into his glove for the 3rd hit of the night for Glens Falls. And the 1st for James Murphy.
Yeah, that's their first single of the game as well, with both of their other 2 hits being doubles. And, you know, as much as we talked about Albert Jennings struggling with the lights out there, that one, not really anything he could do. Got to the ball as quick as he could, just a little bloop single that drops in front of him.
Colby Brilliance is 0 for 2 with 2 swinging strikeouts. Murphy leads off at first as Brilliance hacks to the first offering behind 0-1.
One thing I've noticed with Colby Brilliance tonight is he pulls his head out a lot when he swings. You saw it against Byron. It's part of the reason why he was so vulnerable to the sliders low and away, and you saw it with that pitch there as well.
Bruce deals the 0-1, and again swung through for strike 2. And you think that's just a bad habit, or is it something that these pitchers are doing that's causing that?
I think it's mostly, yeah, it's just him. He's got to be able to, you know, you want to look at the ball. The coaches, a lot of coaches say you want to watch yourself make contact. You want to visually see the bat hit the ball.
0-2, no contact there. Strike 3 swinging. 3 strikes for Bruce, all that he needed to K up Brilliance for the 2nd out of the 7th. 2-0 Saugerties with 1 on. Brings up Joe Kersey for Glens Falls.
Yeah, and just going back to Brilliance for a second too, it really seems like his whole body might be opening up too early as well. And once you open up too early, especially with a pitch outside, there is no chance you're going to be able to reach out. You know, you can't reach. You're almost reaching across your body in that situation once you've kind of opened up that front half.
Kersey, a charge out to left. Jennings racing back, and it's over his head. Around second is Murphy. He's off towards third. Relay throw overshot the cutoff man, and the run will score. An RBI double off the bat of Joe Kersey, his first hit of the game, and the Dragons have half the deficit. 2-1 Stallions at the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we talked about earlier. Again, this has been a relatively well-played game by the Stallions, but when you can't get those extra runs across, just a few mistakes can come back and bite you. You know, this has been a night that the Stallions have seemed like they've been in control all night, but then you look up, and the tying runs in scoring position here in the bottom of the 7th.
A different ball game now. John Collins to the dish. 0 for 2. He struck out his last at-bat, and like Dylan just said, improbably perhaps, the tying run is on second. First pitch from Bruce. Breaks inside. Got away from Morris momentarily, but he does a nice job to track after it. It's 1-0.
Yeah, just a nice job to be on top of that, get there quickly. That's a ball that did leak a little bit away from him, but because he was able to get to it so fast, no chance for Kersey to advance.
Kersey, the tying run, inches off at second. It's a 1-0 count, 2 outs, 2-1 Saugerties, bottom 7. Chopper, third base side, just skips foul. Would have surely been the equalizing run. And now it's a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Bruce getting a little bit of a break there. Collins hit it on the ground, hit it hard, just a little bit out in front.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom 7, 2-1 Saugerties. Tying run in Murphy, stands in Kersey, stands in second. Righty-righty duel. The pitch home from Bruce is fanned at 1-2.
It'll be interesting to see what he goes with here. Looks like he threw that changeup right there. So, see if he tries to go back to it, or maybe change the eye level and go fastball here.
1-2 count from Connor Bruce with 2 outs and a runner on second. Looking to keep this lead for the Stallions, and strike 3 swinging. Ring him up on an off-speed pitch for a Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout. And we head to the 8th. Glens Falls does score a run, 1 run coming across on a pair of hits as we head to the 8th. 2-1 Saugerties on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Top of the 8th, Saugerties leading 2-1 at the Stallions Broadcast Network. Stallions Baseball is brought to you by Praetorius and Conrad, Civil and Environmental Engineering and Land Surveying. Richards Electric. The Stallions lights turning on sponsor. The lights are on here at East Field, brought to you by Richards. Richards, when the lights go out, call Richards. Rip Van Winkle Country Club, bring your swing to the Rip. Rip's Auto Parts, the Stallions pitcher catcher batteries sponsor. Rip's, your hometown auto parts store. Saugerties Athletic Association. We're having fun is what matters. Sawyer Chevrolet and Sawyer Motors. A big thanks to everyone at Sawyer Motors for putting together yesterday's incredible car show. I love going every year. It was an awesome experience. Unfortunately, it rained, but still saw a lot of really cool cars. Stella Artois, distributed by Duchess Beer Distributors. Grab an ice called Stella at the Stallions Watering Trough. And Steyer's, celebrating over 50 years of keeping you on the road. 2-1 Stallions, top of the 8th. Colin Mackel tees off for the Stallions. Huffman blows a fastball past his bat, 0-1. Mackel, the 8-hitter, is 2 for 2 today, a single and an RBI double. He's having himself quite possibly his best game of the season at the plate. 0-1 offering from Huffman, spun back 0-2. So tonight's the home run derby, which is starting soon, right? Do you have a time update on that?
Misspoke. I was wrong in my prediction. It has already started.
Okay.
So I do have an update for you. Trey Mancini beat Matt Olson 24-23 in the first round, and Trevor Story hit 20 home runs, which means Joey Gallo is probably going right now.
0-2. Mackel swings and misses, throws down his bat, and the drop third strike gets tossed to first by Collins for the first out on another strikeout by Huffman, and now it's 3 Ks.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts of the first 4 batters he's faced out of the bullpen. First appearance of the year for Huffman, and if this is any indication, he might be a guy that they're really going to be able to rely on in relief.
Absolutely. They could use some bullpen help, that's for sure. 2-1 lead for the Stallions. Skipped well short of home plate to Caden Kendall, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. So the MLB Home Run Derby is tonight. Now, if the Stallions had a team home run derby, who would win?
Ooh, I have to say Kip Futures, which is obviously the popular pick. I think a guy like Colin Mackel might surprise some people, though.
1-0 taken upstairs. Now 2 balls on Caden Kendall. I could see that. Mackel is a good pop, especially when he's pulling to right field. But
another guy with sneaky pop is Gene Napolitano as well. Not that they would win the Derby, just that they're definitely more powerful hitters than you'd expect.
2-0 win at the letters for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. 2-1 Stallions. They scored both runs in the 5th. Glens Falls just put a run on the board for the first time tonight in the bottom of the 7th. Here we are in top 8. Fastball tails outside from Huffman, who has gone almost exclusively fastball.
Yeah. Saw him throw a few curves when he was warming up, but I don't think we've seen it yet at all in the game.
3-1. Kendall awaits. Righty-righty duel. The pitch. Called strike 2. And again, it's a fastball.
Yeah, I can't imagine he goes with anything else here, especially with the full count. So if you're Kendall, you got to gear up and you got to be all in on that fastball.
He's worked that high fastball a lot with 2 strikes. We'll see if he goes with a full count. And what a way. The bases are empty. Taking his time now. Hoffman through the windup. Rocks and delivers. The 3-2 on the outside spot. Kendall made his way off to first. Mark Ira said, nope, get back here. And he's retired for the second out.
We've seen that a few times tonight, especially on the outside corner. Guys just assume it's ball 4. Guys on both sides have, just kind of taken off towards first base. But especially at this point in the game, we're in the 8th inning. You know Mark Irish has been, giving that outside corner all night. So you have to adjust to that.
A couple quick strikeouts brings up Max Morris, who is 1 for 2. Could come around to the first offering, pitch high and away for strike 1. Morris had the RBI single to cap off the 2 runs in the 5th. Right now, that's been the go-ahead hit. That is the decisive run. Fastball taken high for ball 1. And he's done a really good job his first game. He's 1 for 2 at the plate so far. And you mentioned earlier, his receiving has been top-notch.
Yeah, he's been great behind the dish. And obviously, catcher is a defensive first position. So if you can also hit on top of being a good defensive catcher, then great. And he's done that. The big RBI hit, the game-winning run so far.
Fastball in there, up and away. 1-2 on Morris. Righty to righty, 2 outs. Top of the order on deck for the Stallions in the top of the 8th. 2-1 lead for Saugerties. Looking to avoid an upset from the upset-minded Dragons. Curveball is shown and tapped away. I think that's the first time we've seen that curve.
Yeah, I think he threw the pitch before as well. The first one didn't have a ton of movement on. That one definitely more pronounced, definitely an obvious curveball. And yeah, just a nice job by Morris. Looked like he just kind of checked his swing there, but contact is contact, especially with 2 strikes.
He's ahead 1-2. The offering from Huffman outside for the second ball.
That is another thing that's impressed me about Morris is he has very good plate discipline. And even though he struck out his first at-bat, we saw it there because he fouled off a lot of really, really good pitches and then obviously had a great at-bat his second time up.
2-2 in the zone, no doubt about it. Morris set down looking. And Andrew Huffman, in his Glens Falls debut, strikes out the side. He has keyed up 5 straight Stallions As we get to the bottom of the 8th, Connor Bruce back out of the mound for Saugerties. Pardon me, a pitching change. It'll be Michael Stanford. Will give you his numbers after this. 2-1 Stallions headed to the bottom of the 8th in the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 8th, the Stallions have made a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Michael Stanford, the righty out of UC Irvine, takes the mound for Saugerties. But before that, send it down to the field. Jake Starr on the broadcast. What do you have for us, Jake?
Yeah, John, Michael Stanford is going to have a tall task on his hands, most likely. Going to be asked to get a 6-out save here. And Stallions bats have been struggling tonight, so obviously the hope is in the top of the 9th. If Stanford can hold him here, they can add some insurance runs. But, as we said, bats have struggled. Just 2 runs back in the top half of the 5th inning. You know, it's been an off night for the Stallions offensively. We talked about that rust. Just with all the off days the last couple of weeks, you're really seeing that evident tonight. Pitching staff's been really good. So 6 outs to get for Stanford and the rest of the Stallions bullpen. See if they can get it. John, back up to you and Dylan in the booth.
All right, Jake, thank you so much for joining us. And thanks for helping out the broadcast today. 2-1 Saugerties, as Jake said. And it's Michael Stanford's game now. The righty out of UC Irvine making his 3rd appearance of the year. He replaces Connor Bruce. We gave the Stallions 2 innings, did give up a run. That's the lone run scored by Glens Falls thus far.
Yeah, Stanford in a high-stress spot, which is obviously good for him. He's kind of seen a bunch of low-leverage outings earlier this summer, so still kind of looking to figure it out, looking to get in the rhythm. He's a guy who came basically right before these past 2 weeks with all the rain, so he's a guy who's still kind of looking to get in the game consistently.
Blows the first pitch past the swinging bat of Cole Durkin, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Stanford a 7.50 ERA in those first 3 appearances this year.
Goes off speed to the second pitch and again gets a swing and miss. 0-2. Righty to lefty. Stanford shakes off one. Now accepts. He'll come home on the 0-2 offering. Pop back over our heads and the count stays put.
Do have another update from the Home Run Derby.
Okay.
Trevor Story, the number 7 seed, hometown guy in Colorado, beat Joey Gallo 20-19. So the 6 seed and the 7 seed, so 2 upsets so far. Mancini and Story.
0-2, swinging strike 3 on a pitch down and away. Stanford even took a stumble, but it didn't matter all too much. A Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout, 1 out.
Yeah, you saw Stanford on his release. Looked like he just kind of lost his footing, fell down. Fortunately for him, didn't affect the release of the pitch at all. And a really good pitch to strike out Cole Durkin.
1 down. Michael Gorman is 0 for 2, a couple ground outs. The righty watches a pitch miss low for ball 1.
Yeah, Gorman again, another guy who just hasn't really gotten going at all. You look at the bottom, these 3, 7, 8, 9 in this lineup, and none of them have really had any success this year at the plate.
Stanford works the outside corner to the righty. 1-1, 1 out. 2-1 Stallions advantage in the bottom of the 8th. Curveball made him look silly. Ooh, what a pitch from Michael Stanford.
Yeah, and going back to that, here's what I'm talking about. You know, Gorman comes into tonight batting 189. Then it's J.C. Caffarella, who comes into tonight batting 139. Then Joe Rendy, who came into tonight batting 114. Rendy does have the big double, though.
1-2, a little chin music. Forced Gorman to back away. Ball 2. You mentioned Rendy's double. Keegan is the double as well.
Yeah, it's just those 2 hits and then a single from James Murphy last inning. And then obviously Joe Kersey with the RBI double.
2-2 pitch, tap back into the glove of Morris. Another Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union K for Michael Stanford, who Dylan has looked really good so far in his first 2 batters.
Yeah, he has. He's throwing strikes. He's been able to get ahead of both Durkin and Gorman, and his curveball looks really sharp, and he's gotten a few swings and misses with that already.
Stallions clinging to a 2-1 advantage, 4 outs away from victory. First offering with 2 outs is down and outside to the lefty, J.C. Caffarella, who is hitless in his last 5 games and is 0 for 2 today. The 139 batsman struck out in the 3rd, grounded out in his last at-bat. Stanford tucks on the inside part of the plate to the lefty, 1-1.
Caffarella still looking for his first extra base hit of the year. He's batting 139. He's also slugging 139.
1-1 delivery from the righty. Curveball settles in for strike 2. And Stanford a chance to strike out the side. He's ahead 1-2 with 2 outs. A 2-1 Stallions lead bottom of the 8th. Stanford looks home to Morris against the lefty Caffarella. The offering. Swinging strike 3. Michael Stanford says hello and goodbye in this 8th inning to the Glens Falls batters. 1-2-3 as he strikes out the side, and we head to the top of the last. 2-1 Saugerties on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Top of the last, and what is shaped up to be a very exciting baseball game. Quality pitching all around as Andrew Huffman remains to the bump for the Dragons. Stallions baseball is brought to you by Suncommon, a solar company with a purpose beyond profit. The computer guys don't get robbed by the other guys. Call the computer guys. The Emerson Resort. Treat yourself to a getaway at the Emerson. Ulster Federal Credit Union. Get rewarded with Ulster Federal Credit Union. And Ulster Savings. Celebrating 170 years with 170 acts of kindness. So, Dylan and I were just talking during the break. A whole lot of strikeouts. Dylan did the math. 32 combined strikeouts between these two teams. Stallions batters have struck out 17 times, 15 times for Glens Falls at the plate.
It's been something to watch. It definitely,
That's one
again, going back to it, it has been a pitcher's duel. Every pitcher that's come into this game has had really good stuff, which in a league like this, that's typically not the case. Normally a guy will come in and struggle, maybe walk a few guys. There still hasn't been a single walk in this game.
That is unbelievable. First pitch, a fastball high to the leadoff batter, Nick Iverson. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Takes below the knees for ball 2. So a 32 strikeout to 0 walk ratio.
Yeah.
That's almost inconceivable.
It's part of the reason why it's only 2-1.
2-0 high, ball 3. And Dylan, we are on the doorstep of our first walk of the game. We have played walk-free baseball for 8 innings. Is this the moment?
Did I just jinx it? Because I just mentioned it literally 2 pitches ago.
The moment. 3-0 to Iverson. 2-1 lead for the Stallions. Top of the 9th. The righty Huffman delivers upstairs. And there it is.
I'm so sorry.
The first walk of the game. Well, it works in the Stallions' favor, but there was a combined 32 strikeout to 0 walk ratio until right now.
Yeah, 4-pitch walk as well. And again, for the Stallions, you want some insurance runs. You don't want to go. I mean, you trust Michael Stanford. You trust him in a high-pressure spot. He had a great 8th inning. You totally trust him to go out for the 9th, but ideally you want to make things easier for him by grabbing a run or two here.
Noah Berghammer's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Iverson dancing off of first. He's taking off. The throw down from Collins is into center field. Iverson takes the turnaround second, off to third, and it's another Benson steal. They put stuff up you can't knock down.
Yeah, that was a huge missed opportunity there for the Dragons. You saw Berghammer try to bunt, and he missed it. Iverson didn't really get a great jump. That ball beat him there, even though it hopped in. If that was picked up cleanly off the dirt, Iverson was pretty easily out. But it gets into center. Now all of a sudden, Stallions are in business with a runner at third and nobody out.
Looking to add an insurance run in a stretch of time that is, let's see. Umpires are confirming something. And it was a ball to Berghammer. A stretch of time that has been defined by rainouts. It's nice to have an exciting game on hand. A 1-0 count to Berghammer with an insurance run and Iverson on third at the top of the ninth. 1-0 is cut through 1-1.
Yeah, and you see the infield come in here. For a guy like Berghammer, that's almost a good thing. He's not a powerful guy. He's not going to, hit a home run or drive one off the wall necessarily. He's, more of the slap hitter, kind of contact guy. So if he hits the ball hard on the ground, there's a better chance it's going to find a hole because the infielders are going to have less time to react.
Looking to extend his 4-game hit streak. Now the 1-1. Poked foul, first base side at a play. 1-2. Also has back-to-back games with multiple hits, so he's been hitting the ball very well as of late.
Yeah.
And a hit here, and honestly, even just something in play, I give the Stallions a prime opportunity to get a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah, and obviously, you mentioned just a ball in play. That could do the trick, especially all it needs to do is really get past the mound. You have the extremely speedy Nick Iverson over there at third base.
A fast lineup tonight for the Stallions. You have Iverson and Renwick both playing. That's a dynamic duo on the bases. 1-2 from Huffman. Curveball bounced first base side. And that's, let's see, and a very delayed foul call. I thought that was fair, but Mark Irish says it was foul.
Yeah, you see head coach John Mueller come out to protest that, and he does not look very happy right now. Guys over on the right side of the Dragons infield don't look super thrilled either. Really, really late call by Mark Irish. I don't want to make any accusations here, but the fact that it was so delayed makes me wonder if they were even looking.
Well, he may have said something, though, because Berghammer didn't run. So maybe he said foul off the bat. As the 1-2 pitch, curveball high, 2-2. So that's because typically, even on foul balls, anything close, you're taught to run out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Berghammer didn't move at all. Just kind of stood there and watched it. So that leads me to believe maybe Mark Irish said something, which in that case is a different story. 2-2 count, nobody out. 2-1 Saugerties, top of the ninth. Iverson on third. After walking, then stealing second and advancing to third on a throw into center. Pitch to Berghammer. Tap back. And he prolongs the AB.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Berghammer does. He's just a really competitive hitter. He just puts together good at-bats. Like I mentioned earlier here, he's not a guy who's, going to hit a ton of home runs and blow you away with his power. He's a guy that just strings together good at-bats, just goes pitch by pitch, and just tries to put a hard swing on the ball somewhere. Just takes what the pitcher can give him.
Counts at 2-2. The pitch from Huffman, breaking ball. Poked in the ground, sharply to short. Fielded off a hop by Murphy. His throw to first is in time, and that is why you bring the infield in.
Yep, absolutely. Perfect situation there. Perfect outcome, I should say, for the Dragons. Hard hit ball just on a hop right to short. No chance Iverson was even going to attempt to come home there. If you're Berghammer, there's not really much else you could do there. Hit the ball hard on the ground. Obviously, ideally in that situation, you like to hit it on the ground to the right side, but either way, he put a hard swing on it, and that's really all you can do as a hitter.
Stallions leading 2-1 at the top of the last with one away. Now the lefty Albert Jennings digs in, the three-hitter tonight. Looking to play to Iverson from third. First pitch, hacked at and missed. 0-1. Both runs for the Stallions came in the second. Glens Falls came in the fifth, pardon me. Glens Falls scored one in the seventh. Saugerties out hitting the Dragons 6-4. 2 errors for Glens Falls to 0 for the Stallions. Huffman readies the chest. 0-1 pitch home. At the knees, 0-2 on a called strike to Jennings, who is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts.
Yeah, Jennings, again, we talked about him a lot because even when he was struggling at the beginning of the year, he was a guy who came through in a lot of really big spots for this team. Another big spot here.
Iverson taking a marginal lead off at third. Huffman looks over. Now focuses home on the 0-2 with one away to Jennings, and he strikes him out. A swinging strike 3 for the second out.
Yeah, it just looked like Jennings was not seeing that fastball at all. He got 3 straight fastballs there. Swung and missed at 2 of them. Was pretty late on that one. And I know, that's the first time he has seen Huffman in this game, but in that situation, this guy's throwing hard. This is his 3rd inning out there. You have plenty of time to see him. You have to be able to get around on that fastball.
And with 2 outs, the infield retreats to its normal depth for Kip Fugers. Takes a fastball away. Kip is 1 for 3 today. Tied for first in the league with 22 RBI in the year. So a guy with a knack for driving home base runners. And as Iverson on third, 2-1 Stallions, top of the 9th. Looking to win after having a doubleheader canceled yesterday and looking to stay in the hunt for first place in the league. Curveball dips below the knees, 2-0.
Yeah, you mentioned he's first in RBIs. He's also second in the league amongst qualified hitters in OPS, trailing only Matt Shaw of Amsterdam.
The Stallions and the Mohawks, pretty clearly the top 2 teams in the league.
Them and Jamestown.
Jamestown up there as well. 2-0 on the outside corner. Fugers knew it. Strike 1. 2-1 count. 2 outs, 2-1 Stallions with Iverson on third. They need something to the win column. Again, just looking to stay in the hunt of that best record. The top 2 teams in the league get first-round byes in the playoffs. So be a nice little advantage to have. Huffman deals on the 2-1, and it's fouled back. Huffman, in his 3rd inning of work, has yet to allow a hit. Has allowed just 1 base runner aboard. It was the walk to Iverson, who now stands on third. Has 6 strikeouts in his first appearance with the Dragons.
It's a great first impression. Certainly a good way to get your name called again in the next couple days out of the bullpen.
Count even 2 apiece, 2 outs, righty-righty. Iverson leads at third. Huffman fires to Fuger, skips it, and it splits the wickets of Collins. Here comes Iverson. He'll score with ease. 3-1 Stallions, top of the 9th.
And after all that, the run comes home on a wild pitch. That's baseball for you, John.
Well, in a game that has not seen much offense from hitters, maybe it's fitting that a run will come home in a way like that. Even the pitchers dictating the runs. Now the 3-2 to Fugers. Grounder right side of the infield to the first baseman, Kersey, shifted to his right. Now jogs left, taps the bag, and wraps up the top of the 9th. So the Stallions do get a much-needed Hell's Mortal Realty and Insurance run, and we head to the bottom of the last. 1 run coming across, no hits, nobody left on base. Bottom of the 9th after this, 3-1 Stallions. Don't go anywhere. The conclusion of tonight's matchup after this on the Saugerties Stallions Broadcast Network. Well, Dylan, it all comes down to this. Michael Stanford looking to close out the job. A 3-1 Stallions lead at the bottom of the ninth. And he'll start it off against the 9-hitter, Joe Rendy. First pitch, the outside part of the plate of the lefty. 0-1 count. What a game it has been. 3-1 Stallions in an uncharacteristically low-scoring game. These two teams have had some high-scoring affairs, especially from the Stallions side of things, as Stanford deals and gets a swing and a miss on the 0-1, now ahead 0-2.
Yeah, it certainly, I mean, again, it just goes back to baseball. It's such a weird sport. I mean, what other sport can you have where two teams play each other, one team wins 19-2, and then you play a bunch of other games that are all really close, one-run games? You know, one-run game in the first game of the doubleheader last weekend, two-run game here tonight. This has been a very close game all night.
Yeah. Had a walk-off recently, yeah. So 0-2. In the air out to left. Jennings backtracking to his right, and he's under it to make the catch. One away, and good to see from Jennings. Had some trouble early in the game seeing things, but he's able to get the put out.
Yeah, once, you see a guy kind of make a few mistakes in the outfield, every time the ball is hit up there, you can kind of start getting that, kind of uneasy feeling, but Jennings, no trouble with that one at all, made it look routine, tracked it right off the bat, got a good jump, got under it, and now just 2 more outs to go for Michael Stanford.
Well, this is a tough one. Evan Keegan, 1 for 2 out of double in the 4th. And the first pitch runs in and plops him on the back. So he'll head to first. Tying run at the plate.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing that could happen there for Stanford. Breaking ball that just lost the grip on. Didn't really break and just kind of stayed inside and hit Keegan in the back. And looks like they are going to pinch run for him here. Get some more speed over there at first.
Nick Marola comes to the plate.
Yeah, you mentioned an easy at-bat against Keegan. Not an easy at-bat here against Marola either.
Marola 0 for 3. Breaking ball, chopped foul, third base side. Ryan Ash is pinch running at first base. Big thanks to our good friend Jim here in the Glens Falls press box. Oh, 1 with 1 away. 3-1 Stallions. Tying run at the plate. And Marola grounded sharply. Third base side foul. Just avoids the bag. 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, that one is about as close as you can get. We've had a couple balls hit down the line in this game that have been really, really close. And, yeah, if you're Marola, that's obviously a little bit frustrating because he tattooed that ball and just missed what probably could have been extra bases all the way up against that left field corner by about a foot or so.
0-2 count with 1 away. Runner on first. The pitch home from Stanford. Hit deep to left field. That ball is foul. If it was fair, it would have been gone, as it cleared the foul fence and made its way across the street.
Yeah, I would say that one's probably a little bit more frustrating for Marola than the last one because that would have tied the game. And again, he's just a little bit out in front there. He's hit the ball really hard the last couple swings he's had.
Stanford already is on the 0-2 with 1 away. Tried to clip the outside corner just off the edge. 1-2.
Yeah, but I mean that's a great spot because you went inside the last 2 pitches in a row. They both got hit hard, so you move outside and you get him to take it, and he just barely missed.
Ash leads off at first. 1-2, grounded third base side, fielded by Renwick. He'll go to second. Iverson no throw to first. So the Stallions do get the lead runner for the second out of the inning, and now they're just 1 out away from victory.
Yeah, nice play there by Renwick. Nice job by Iverson. Probably the right decision there to hold on to that one. Marola busted it down the line. He was only about a step or so from the bag when Iverson was prepping to throw, and obviously the last thing you want to do is make a mistake and allow him to advance. So now just hold it and trust that Stanford can get 1 more out.
And again, the tying run at the plate, it's James Murphy. Lines back the first offering from Stanford, 0-1. Murphy is 1 for 3, but his 1 did come in his last at-bat, a single in the 7th.
Yeah, and he ended up scoring the only run of the game for Glens Falls when Joe Kersey doubled.
3-1 lead for the Stallions, bottom of the 9th. Breaking ball in the dirt, a great block by Morris. It's a ball, but could have been a whole lot worse for Saugerties.
Yeah, and again, I mean, that's something he hasn't had to do a lot of tonight because the pitching's been so good. There hasn't been a ton of balls that he's had to drop and block, but when he's been as sharp as ever.
1-1 with 2 outs from Stanford. Pop back, and now the Dragons are down to their final strike. A game that started with a masterpiece. The lefty Zach Byron, 5 innings of 1 hit, shutout baseball, 10 strikeouts, no walks. Connor Bruce followed up with a couple solid innings. Now it's Michael Stanford with a 1-2 count and 2 outs. 3-1 Stallions. The righty kicks and deals and clips the outer edge, and that is all she wrote. Stallions win 3-1 the final, and it ends on a Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union strikeout. Could not have asked for more fitting ending than a strikeout.
No, you really couldn't have after such a dominant pitching performance by both sides tonight. I mean, we were over 30 strikeouts. There was just 1 combined walk, only 4 runs total, 10 hits total. And again, yeah, if you like pitching, this is a game you're going to want to go back and watch again. And just a great job by the Stallions pitching staff to pick up their offense. Like we mentioned, it's harder for hitters to stay in a rhythm when they're not playing. Whereas it might be a little bit easier for pitchers. I think we kind of saw that in effect tonight for both teams. And just a really nice job by Zach Byron, by Connor Bruce, and by Michael Stanford to pick up the offense, who, really didn't have a great game. But because the pitching was so good, despite that, you're still walking out of here with a win. You're still walking out of here feeling pretty good.
And a win after a day off. Yesterday you expect to play, end up not playing. We've seen this team come out flat a couple times after some breaks with some rainouts. How important is this for them to secure a win after having a couple games rained out yesterday?
Well, I think it's huge because, it's just momentum, and now you feel like, maybe the rain stops, and you get a couple games in a row. Now, you feel like you're starting to get back into normalcy where, where you were in the first few weeks of the season, where you were playing, 5-6 days a week, and you were, used to showing up and working every single day. And one thing I do want to highlight that has really impressed me about the Stallions this year, they still have not lost back-to-back games at any point this season. They lost, obviously, last time out to Amsterdam, come out and they get a win, and which really shows, obviously, baseball, you have to have such a short memory, and the Stallions have done a really, really good job of just putting losses behind them, coming back out and winning games that they should be winning, which is really one of the big reasons for the success that they've had this year.
Stallions with the win, get a 3-1 victory over the Glens Falls Dragons on the road, up their record to 8-1 of the year against Glens Falls, and now sit at 19-8 overall. Glens Falls drops its 9th straight decision. They sit at 7-24 on the year. Well, the Stallions are back in action tomorrow, a doubleheader at Cantine Field against the Albany Dutchmen, another East Division matchup, and again, another chance for the Stallions to keep things rolling. Would be nice to pick up a sweep against the Dutchmen. Well, that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. A big thanks to all of you for joining us today. I see some people in our comment section. Shout out Elizabeth Diltz, Wendell Garrett, Alan Cohn, Dion Gaudier, Arnold and Ruth Gross, Destination EV, and Byron Photography, which, listen, Zach Byron was the star tonight for the Stallions. So congratulations to the Byron family on Zach's stellar performance. And we will talk to you tomorrow night. For my broadcast partner, Dylan McGlynn, our sideline reporter tonight, Jake Starr. I'm John Gross signing off from Eastfield. Stallions win 3-1. This has been Saugerties Stallions Baseball on the Stallions Broadcast Network. Have a great night, everyone.